All right. So first of all, I just want to say thank you for all hopping on. I've gotten so many questions and requests and just everything about how I do my templates, how I've branded myself, how I edit my photos. And I'm like, okay, why don't we just all hop on Zoom and I'll try to help you all. So here's kind of how this is going to work. I'm going to first start off by saying I'm not perfect. I am not like the pro at this. I'm just simply going to share what I've done and how I edit my photos and how I've gotten my brand. And just some questions that I ask myself to get me to where I'm at. And then I'm going to open it up for questions. When we get to the editing photos, I know that we have all different styles of technology. So some are really good with technology and some are not so good. So that's totally fine. I'm really going to try to break it down from simple, and then I'm going to start simple, and then I'm really going to kind of go into, if you want to call it, the hardest stuff. It's not really hard, but I'll just kind of show you what I do. And then, of course, at the end, we'll ask any questions. And if you have any questions that come up as I'm talking, then just kind of raise your hand or unmute yourself or whatnot as well. Uh-oh, I'm getting my internet connection is unstable. Can you guys hear me? Yes, I'm okay?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. All right. Well, let me know if I start, if my internet gets all weird. I hope it doesn't. And then I'm just going to ask you guys to mute so that the recording comes out clear as well, just because a lot of people wanted me to record it. So I'm recording it as well. Okay, so let's first start talking about your brand. Okay, so if you look at Pampered Chef and being a Pampered Chef consultant, there are 42,000, that's just a rough estimate, okay? So the question I want you to ask all of yourselves is, how do you, as your Pampered Chef consultant, how does Kelly Mello, as a Pampered Chef consultant, stand out from those 42,000 people? Okay, so obviously we're all selling the same kitchen gear. We're all doing either virtual parties or cooking parties. Yes, our style may be a little bit different, but they could really purchase Pampered Chef and they can really follow you for many, many reasons, okay? And so your customers and your following base want to choose you, and there needs to be a reason that they're choosing you versus me, or you versus your friend or whatever. So I have my notes on my phone. So number one is when I started branding myself, and I'll tell you a little bit about my brand, but my brand is, I'm called the Frugal but Pampered Chef. And so how that came about was me and my husband in last March in 2018 started paying off our debt. Okay, so we have lots of student loan debt. Yay, student loans. And so so we just started budgeting. We literally, I was walking into this like very, very, and I mute, there we go. Very kind of unclear. And so I was really learning as I was doing this and as I was sharing my journey, okay? And so that's why as I'm talking about this, you guys, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to perfect it. Like, you can try some things out and see if it works and tweak it on the way. I'm still tweaking, and it's been 1.5 years, okay? So that's kind of where I got it. And I was like, how can I share my debt-free journey? Because being debt-free and going on that, for me, felt super inspiring to other people. And I kept getting so many comments about that. So I'm like, how could I pair this up with my business? Okay. So that's what I want you guys to look at is your life. What do you live by? Not even talking about Pampered Chef, but what do you live by? If you don't follow Emmy, Emmy has a really, really good inspirational story as well, and why she's kind of doing Pampered Chef. So that goes on with her life. And so what do you personally live by in your life? What is something that you're passionate about? What is something that you live by just every single day? Okay. And then the next thing is, again, you don't have to know everything about it, like paying off debt and the frugal tips that I'm going to be sharing and all these things with my business. Like, I'm not like the perfect at it. Okay. But you do want to find something that you're knowledgeable in. And when I say knowledgeable is, even if I just learned it the day before and I go share it, I'm just still sharing something, the knowledge that I learned from the day before. So what is it that you are passionate about? What is it that you're knowledgeable about? What is it that is in the cooking realm or something to do with food or whatever that you can stand out? And so then that's kind of where I came up with the Frugal but Pampered Chef, because I'm pampered with my products that I get, but I really try to be frugal in my kitchen with the ingredients that I'm buying, less ingredients. And I really try, of course, in our case, we could get, the frugalness of hosts getting products for discounted and whatnot as well. Okay. So the next kind of thing that I looked at myself is, so now that I've kind of discovered the Frugal but Pampered Chef and kind of what I'm going to be sharing, I kind of said, okay, who's my target market? So I know that sounds like really sophisticated, and it doesn't have to be. Okay, so who's your prime customer? Who do you want to be commenting on your post? And it's going to be more than one person, but in your mind, when you're creating your content, you want to have that one person in mind, or that one general target market. And so my target market, let's just say, is women in the ages of 25 and 34. Okay, so that's a range. And that's actually, you guys, I didn't come up with that myself. Instagram helped me with that, to be honest. And I don't have a huge Instagram following, but it tells me in my insights on Instagram who my target market is, okay? And that might be different for Facebook, but that's just kind of who I go after, I guess, when I'm creating my content is, okay, I know I want this to hit women, and I know I want to hit women that are 25 to 34, okay? Okay, so then the biggest thing, and I know that a lot of you know this, is creating content, and we sell something, okay? So I want you to take the sales out of it. I want you to take the pushiness out of it, and I want you to ask yourself, what value do I have to provide to people? And I know that sounds like, oh, well, duh, okay, that's what we think about always, but you're creating content that provides value to people. And so it doesn't matter what social media you're using, Instagram or Facebook or whatever, but I try to live by every 10 pieces of content that I'm providing, or every 10 pieces of value, then I can do one ask for my business. Okay, so I try to keep it a 10 to 1. That's not always perfect, but if you're creating that value, sharing that, building those relationships, your customers and your following are going to start trusting you. They're going to start really engaging with your life and who you are. And then you can bring up products or parties or whatever at 10 to 1 is usually what I look at. Let me see where I'm at. And then with creating your brand, this is something that I started as I kind of discovered the Frugal but Pampered Chef. I said, okay, so now I kind of know what I'm going to call myself. I kind of wrote up a post on how I'm going to, and you can go back on my business page and see it, but basically I wrote up why I'm the Frugal but Pampered Chef. Why did I come up with this? And it was similar to what I told you in the beginning with the debt-free journey and everything and whatnot. And then I said, okay, how could I make this fun? And I can create theme days so that people can get excited and they know my theme days. Okay, so like here's just a few examples. So every Friday I do a Frugal Friday tips. So I really try, it doesn't always have to be cooking oriented as well or in the kitchen. I do try to make it about the kitchen, but sometimes it's not. Okay, so this last Friday was about saving money in coins in a jar. Like that has nothing to do with kitchen, but that has something to do with saving money. So Frugal Friday tips. I've also done salad Saturdays is a good idea for food. Monday motivation, any type of thing like that. So just kind of creating theme days as well so that you can be consistent in your content that you're providing on the specific days. Okay. Are there any questions so far about brand? Go ahead, Yvonne.
Okay, so do you have a page or a group?
I will show you. I have a business page.
Okay.
And I know we're not diving super far into this all, but I hate this. I have, whoops.
I need to do something to my page. It just doesn't.
So I have sorry. I have all these. I have a business, this is what my business page looks like. Let me go to post so you can kind of see. And I'll get into the pictures in a second, but I really try to brand myself everywhere. So the Frugal but Pampered Chef ends up in almost every picture that I post, okay? So this is just something that I just posted. So I put the Frugal but Pampered Chef at the bottom. And so I do create a business page. Here's my Frugal Friday tips, okay? So I do create a business page. When I first started my business page, though, I'll be honest, I had no idea what I was doing. I'm like, okay, this sounds like a good idea because it's a business and I'm a business and Facebook likes business pages. But so my biggest suggestion is to just get started and just create it, put the picture, you can change it, but just start creating it and getting people to like it. Any other questions? And my biggest recommendation, oh, I see somebody's hands raised. Who was that? Who is the tablet? Amy, is that?
That's Beth. Can you hear?
Yeah, kind of. Now I can.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, I was wondering, that business page on Facebook, does that cost anything or is it free like regular Facebook?
It's free.
Okay,
And the reason I chose a business page over a group is simply just because Facebook likes business pages, like I said in the beginning. So they give you more visibility than if it were to be like a VIP group. And then also I do parties in groups, and I create my party group through my business page. I know a lot of you know that. So that's actually why I kind of started my business page, was because I heard about that and I was like, oh, I want to give that a try. Although I didn't have a business page at the time. And so that's kind of how I started with that. Okay. Any more questions about branding or anything?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So this is probably like old news, but
It's okay.
having your group through your business page, what are the benefits of that?
So I'm posting as Pampered Chef or Pampered Chef Kelly Mello, whatever my name is, on there. And I found that interaction is a lot better because Facebook, and again, don't quote me on this. This is just what I've heard, and it's working for me. But Facebook gives business pages more visibility. So because I'm posting as my business page, they're giving me more visibility versus if I was just posting Kelly Mello, my personal page, in a group. Does that make sense? Yeah. Any other questions?
Okay. Yeah. So do you not have a VIP group at all? Because I have a VIP and a page.
No.
Okay.
I have my personal page. I have my business page, and then I have my Instagram page.
Okay.
Yeah. I just actually listened, this is a side note really quick, but I just listened to this great podcast about Facebook, and it was kind of growing your business in 3 avenues on Facebook. I won't talk about it, but I can share that podcast with you guys on the event page, okay? It was just another different way of thinking about it, I guess. Any other questions?
Your Instagram, is that a personal page or both?
My Instagram is a business Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah. And so actually if you have a business Instagram, then it actually connects to your business page on Facebook. You can connect them. So like if I post an Instagram story, I know some of you might not know what a story is. It's basically where you're just going on there and taking videos. Like I was cooking dinner tonight and I was on there doing my salsa chicken on there in my video. And so the stories automatically go to my business page stories on Facebook.
Okay. One last thing, Kelly, just curious, the business pages are public. Do they have to be public, or can you choose? I can't remember.
Yes, I believe they have to be public.
Okay.
I don't remember if there was an option of private or not.
Okay.
No, yeah, Tammy says no. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna dive into go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I missed the first few minutes, but
It's okay.
do you sprinkle in Pampered Chef in your personal page, or are you are you only doing Pampered Chef in your business page and that's where you do everything?
That's a really good question. And I'll share this a little bit as I go into my editing photos. But I kind of, how do I say this? I kind of have learned from my girlfriend who does Beachbody, and she has like 50,000 followers on Instagram. Like she's very well known. And so I've asked her, she's my sorority sister. So I've asked her questions, and here's what she told me. She said, I'm echoing for some reason. I'm going to mute you while I'm answering your question. It might be, I don't know who it is. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So she told me, and this is what I do, is she's like, there's different people on every single page. So you can have people that like your business page that you're not Facebook friends with, okay? And same thing with Instagram. You can have people that are on Instagram that don't follow you on Facebook. So what I do is if it's solely Pampered Chef, unless it's an amazing deal that I want my Facebook friends to know about, then I usually just post it on my Facebook page. So let me show you what I just did. Can you see this? So this is my Facebook business page, okay? And this is what I posted. And this isn't truly Pampered Chef, but it's food related and budget related and kind of goes in with my brand. But what I did with this one, because I felt like it was also going along with my life in general, which I want on my personal page, is I just basically clicked share, and it is now on my personal page as well, shared through my business page. Does that make sense? So my girlfriend the reason I was telling you that is that she told me that she shares everything everywhere. Okay, so she shares, her business page. She always posts the same thing on Instagram and always on her same personal page. And I said, well, that seems kind of silly. You're posting the same thing 3 times, same day, whatever, And she said, well, I have different followers on different avenues. So I guess you could look at who's following you where, but yeah. I don't try to post a ton of Pampered Chef stuff on my personal page, but I do kind of sprinkle it in sometimes. Tana, you're muted.
I noticed that you and a person that sent me an email had Chef Kelly. Chef, is that a better email than just Tana.PamperedChef?
Totally your preference.
Okay.
Doesn't really matter. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. I'm going to dive into the picture editing. And so similar to the brand, you guys, once you kind of create your brand, you want to kind of create your own images and put that brand into the images. Okay. So I'm going to tell you right off the bat, Pampered Chef marketing imagery creates beautiful images. So if this is too much for you, it's okay, okay? That you can take this as one of a stepping stone and maybe do a little bit of what I'm going to talk about. But their images are amazing. And I am going to show you how I take their images and how I tweak them and make them sound, I'm sorry, I'm trying to mute people and talk at the same time. How I take those images from home office and how I change them and how I add my brand into them, okay? So number one thing is creating your own brand. Your brand is visual, you guys, so that is where pictures come in. Okay, so you're gonna want, like I said, I put the Frugal but Pampered Chef at the bottom of all photos. You can do that. The next thing that I do is called a preset, which is also a filter. It's basically a filter. And I can share the one and where I found mine. I did buy it. It was $5, so I was like, whatever. But basically, it's an app that is called Lightroom. And Lightroom is just a photo editing app. Okay, so this is not huge, you guys. You don't have to have this, but I feel like it brightens up my photos. If it's more on Instagram that you can, you want all your photos kind of correlated to the same color scheme. And so that's why I got that preset. So almost all of my photos are starting to kind of look similar because they have the same preset. Okay. So everybody knows Canva, right? Does everybody know Canva? Does anybody not know? Tana doesn't know. Okay. So there's 2 that I'm going to talk about, and Canva is actually not the one that I use. Okay. So I used to use that. I started there, but then their fonts started getting annoying to me, so I switched. So I will just tell you what Canva is, and I'm sure everything that I talk about with the one that I use, it can be duplicated on Canva. I don't know the exact terminology they use, though. But Canva, C-A-N-V-A, is a great one that has an app, and it also has a website. Okay, so the one that I use is called PicMonkey. It's P-I-C Monkey, M-O-N-K-E-Y. And they have an app, and they also have a desktop. I personally think that the desktop version is easier to use. I don't like the app unless I'm like in a rush or not having my computer by me, then I'll use the app. But it does make the desktop version is a lot easier, okay? So with PicMonkey, there's 2 versions. There's a free version and there's a paid version. As I was thinking about this, I know they're going to ask me, why do you do the paid version? I don't really know, to be honest. So I pay $7.99 a month. But before I did that, I did the free version. And the only difference I believe that I figured out is the free version. Basically, when you go and save a photo, you have to just screenshot it. So if you know how to screenshot on your phone or your desktop, then you can just screenshot it. Whereas like to actually export it to your computer, you have to have the paid version, okay? So either way works. I used to always use the free version until I created my brand and wanted a transparent background, which I will go into in a second. But so that's kind of where I started. So like I said, I'm gonna start really basic. I'm gonna show you, I just wanna make sure I wrote me all these notes so I don't lose track. Okay, so let's log into PicMonkey. Can everybody see my screen? Yes? Okay. So PicMonkey, this is kind of the main page about it. So you'll see you have your own hub, which is up here. These are all my images that I've gone and edited, and I'll show you that. One thing that I wanted to share before I go into my personalized stuff is they have these amazing templates. So if you remember this picture right here, the family of 4 one-week groceries, I did not create that. I just found that actually in their templates. So what you can do is you can go see all templates, and then you can scroll. I'm gonna do this really quick. Okay, on the left-hand side, you can, whatever avenue you're gonna go. So if it's Instagram, it should always be, if you're posting on Instagram, it should be a square photo. If it's Facebook, also square photo. So wherever you're posting. So let's just click Instagram. An Instagram post or Instagram story. So the difference between that is Instagram post is a square photo and Instagram story is a long rectangular photo like that. So these are all kind of the Instagram ones or any one template. So you can basically just, let me show you the one that I just did if I can find it. So here's the one that I did. I clicked on it and I just said customize. And this is really nice, especially if you're just starting, you guys, because it's kind of all made for you. Okay, so the whole, example of how it is all is there. What you can do is double click on the font and you can change it. So see how I can just type, and that's what I did with my photo that I did. I changed the words to that. And then you can obviously see the color is a little bit different as well. So there's my color, and then there's this one. So that's where my preset or my filter comes in, because I put my preset on it, which makes it light and bright is my preset, what that's called. So I wanted to show you really quick the templates, because if you're brand new at this and you've never edited a photo before, these templates would be really, really helpful. You can even, I'm sorry, you guys, you can even change the photos in it as well, and just kind of leave the same style, I guess you could say. Okay, and again, interrupt me if you have questions. So the biggest thing with photos, you guys, is I want to let you know, like, I am not very creative. You might think I am, but I take photos from anywhere else that I see. So if I'm scrolling through Instagram or if I'm scrolling on Facebook and I see a photo, or maybe it's on an Instagram story or a Facebook story, and I see a photo and I'm like, ooh, that's really appealing to my eye. I really like the look of that. And this is a photo that I actually did, or that I did not do, that inspired me to create something else. So if you've seen my director photos, this is actually where that came from. I basically just screenshotted this, and this is, again, my girlfriend who does Beachbody, but she posted this of her teammate she qualified or whatever. And then, I was like, oh, I really like that. So I saved that, and I basically duplicated it or tweaked it, made it similar when my director's promoted, okay? So always find things that are inspiring you, or if you're scrolling that are catching your eye and you're like, oh, I really love that photo. Screenshot it so that then when you go and create your own photo, you can basically duplicate it or do something like that, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna delete that one really quick. Let's go ahead and I'm just gonna grab a random, well, okay, so how do I go back? Are there any questions while I'm figuring this out? There it is. Okay, so to start your own photo, you can click Edit New Image right here. And please tell me if I'm not making sense or I'm going too fast. You can start with a blank canvas. So that's what I'll show you first. Is a blank canvas is basically just a blank picture, okay? And you can decide, again, where you're going to post it. So look at these all: Facebook, Facebook event cover, Facebook group cover. Those I use for my Facebook group, the cover photo for my parties. There's Instagram down here, Facebook profile photo. So whatever you're choosing to post this image, wherever, then you're going to click that. So let's do Facebook profile image, and then you're just going to click create. You can title it. I don't usually do that. Okay, so then I'm going to take you over here, and this is kind of where the editing happens. Okay, so I'm going to go basic. So just simply on a white photo, I'm going to add some text. Okay, and this might seem really simple to some of you, but I've had this question, and so I want to go over it. So basically clicking text right here, add text. Okay, so you can just kind of type whatever you want. And then you can size it. So if you want to make it super skinny like that, or if you want to stretch it out, you can do that. And again, just kind of playing around with it is really how you learn what you like as well. And also when you see inspiring things, like I said, then just screenshot that and kind of duplicate that because you know what's catching your eye. Okay, so I don't really like that font. So I'm going to go over and to the fonts right here. And there's all different types of fonts, okay? So there's tons and tons of fonts. So I'm usually all about the script, all the like fancy photos like that. I love that. So so that's how you change the fonts. You can of course change the size of the font right here. So similar to like Word or anything, you guys, somewhat similar. On this also, if you don't like how close the letters are, you can do letter spacing. So I can make that and it spreads the letters apart. Okay. And then same with line height. If I want it separated like that, you can do that. And then, are we good? Is everybody following me? I can't see you, so you have to talk to somebody.
Yes.
We're all good? Yeah?
We're all good.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I think that was Lori. Okay, so that's kind of basic things. If you're, I don't know if this will do that. So this is how you kind of switch it or flip it. Okay, this button right here, or flip vertically that way as well. Obviously, you'd probably do that more with a photo, not text. Okay, then the next thing that I do is go to effects. So effects are where you can add a drop shadow. So a drop shadow is basically if this text was on top of some words, which I can pull up an example, then you would want to put, or I'm sorry, not on top of words, on top of a photo, you want to make it stand out. So see how that kind of did that? It's hard to see with the black. And then you can change let me change it to red so you can kind of see. So that's kind of the drop shadow, okay? Then the next thing is the inner shadow. I usually don't use the inner shadow, to be honest. I don't think it really shows. Yeah, it didn't show anything there. And then this is kind of fun, a curved text. I've done this before, so, you know, this would be really fun with a logo or something like that. So you can curve it as much as you want. You can also make it a circle. So it's in an arc right now, but you can make it a circle, which I think is super fun. So just little things like that, you guys, is playing around with that and seeing what you like and whatnot. Let me look really quick. Okay, the next thing is adding some designs. So let me go to an example instead of a blank screen. This is in a launch party that I'm doing right now for a teammate. And I don't even know if she's on here. She might be. So I just took her profile photo, and what I did was this thing right here. So it's a design. So I'm going to delete it just so I can show you how to get it. So see right here, you guys, on this lettering, how the white background. So that's what the drop shadow does. Okay, so it kind of makes it pop out a little bit more. Okay, so graphics is where you want to go to add fun little designs. And I usually go to, you can do basic, which is just simple squares, circles, different shapes. There's lines, arrows, all the way down, squiggly lines, just fun little things to decorate your photos, okay? Arrows, I already said that. Look at these cute little things, okay? So all those. I usually do the design though. And this is where I get the kind of erased look, I guess you could say, marker-ish. Okay, so then I basically I click on it and it comes up at my photo, and I, whatever color you want to do. So this is how I did this photo, was I basically played around with it. And so right now, oh my goodness, my design is on top of my text. You can't see it, okay? So what you need to do is over here in layers, you need to put the fat brush is what it's called right here. You need to put it behind all of these things. So just click the down arrow and see how everything starts popping up. Oh, not that one. There we go. And so that's how you add designs to your photos as well. Are there any questions about that? We're good. Okay. Super basic. All right. So the biggest thing that I like to tell people is that when you're adding things, how do I say this? When you're adding words to, and I really try to do this on my Instagram stories, I do it on my photos as well, but when I'm adding words to a photo, I really like to try and correlate the colors, okay? So if you have color coherency, I'm saying that right, coherency, whatever, then it will look better to the eye, okay? So here's a perfect example. This is my save the date photo I send to all my hosts. So this bar right here, this colored blue bar that you see, how I decided to make it blue was, what I did was I clicked, let me find it, hold on. Oh, you click the color. Okay, so I have it highlighted on the bar, and I click the color. And then there's this little like Doppler or whatever you call it. Okay, so I click on that, and I can go over the photo to see what colors I like. So that red kind of pops out and it matches the picture. There's some orange right here I could choose. I chose to do the blue, okay? There's some teal. So I just feel like that's really appealing to the eye if you make the color, the color of the text or the, bar or whatever you're adding into it. Sometimes I just do the text, that I would make it that color that correlates with the picture. So that is an example of that. And then, okay.
Kelly, I have a question on that one.
Yes.
So the background was a Pampered Chef picture, apparently from
You want me to show you how I did that?
Yeah, how did you get the words on top? So you took a picture and then you just saved it and then designed your words.
So let me go, don't look at how unorganized my photos are. Okay, so I'm gonna go add a new image, okay? And then I'm gonna click right here, and this is basically gonna go into my computer photos. I'm gonna go to my recents. I'm not organized at all, you guys. Let me just find that exact photo because it's pretty recent.
So you've already gone in and downloaded the photos?
Yes.
Your computer, okay.
Do you want me to show you how to do that?
No, I got that part.
Okay, okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the blank photo. This is actually, I'm glad you asked this because this is something I do a lot. So you saw the last photo looked frosted. Okay, this one is not frosted at all. So what I usually do is I go ahead and go back to graphics, and I do a basic square. Okay, and I'll show you what I do as well. I've had a lot of questions about this next thing that I do too. So I cover up the entire photo with the square. Move this so I can see. And then I would, for that one, I made it white. So I'm sorry, am I going too fast? So I covered it with square, and then I go over to the color and I changed it to white. Okay, so it's still covering it, but then what I do is I fade it. So it pulls the picture through, okay?
Okay.
And then to add text to it, I would just go to my text and click add text. And then it, whatever. Welcome to, oops, don't mind misspelling. Welcome to Sally's party. Okay. And then just kind of do that and move it wherever you want. And then I would maybe add a new text, and I would maybe do a different font like I did in the last one. Let's just use that one. And then I would say, whatever it says, inspiration, food, kitchen, whatever it says. And I'm just typing fast, so don't mind my misspellings. So, and then see, it's too big. So then I would kind of make it smaller. Oops. There we go. And I would move it. Does that make sense, Lori?
Yes. Show me, I'm sorry, go back to how you covered it in white. Where is that tab?
You go over to graphics.
Graphics, okay.
And then you go to the basic. So the basic is just simple shapes.
In basic, okay. Thank you.
Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to share is I did this a while back, and I've done some games in my virtual parties like this, specifically with current or upcoming host specials. Let's just say the host special is cookware, okay? So this picture of the ice cream, imagine it being cookware, okay? So what I would do is I've done like a hangman guessing game. So like, oh, guess the letters of what so-and-so is going to get next month for hosting a party. And I would try to get them to guess C-O-O-C-K, cookware. So what I would do is as I am clicking on the screen, on the square, I would go over here and I would click erase, okay? And I use this quite a bit. It's kind of fun. And I would start revealing the letters, okay? So it's basically like a paintbrush that I'm erasing that reveals the back of the photo, okay?
That's cool.
So I've had lots of questions about that. How did you do that? So I did it with the Last Chance First Glance too. So that's how you do that. And then of course, if you want to cover it back up, you just click this paintbrush and you can do this. Okay. So another thing that I use that erase feature for a ton is for my, my photo. So this is a perfect example of one. Let me edit a copy just so I don't. So this photo is of me. I don't know if I can. Let me see if this works. So I can show you how I erase it. Yep, there you go. So this photo is actually a photo like, okay, there's actually a background in it. Okay. So what I do is I take that erase and I'm going to make it smaller. And I try, and you can't be too much a perfectionist with this because it's hard to do with your mouse. But you basically just take this and I'm erasing right around the edge of my body. And I did this, you can see in my cover photo of my Facebook business page cover. So I'm erasing this whole thing. This one's a little bit easier because the sun's right there. So it's not as like, so I do it smaller right around my body so I don't get too big of a thing cut out. And then what I do, and it's okay if I'm cutting off my arm a little bit because it'll be up against a white picture, which they can't really see. And then what I'll do is I'll make this bigger so I'm not going crazy and I'm just kind of deleting the rest of it. So I use the erase a lot for that when I'm trying to put a single photo. Yeah.
That is pretty cool. That's very cool.
Yeah. It's kind of fun just to make like like this. I wanted my face in it to make it personalized. Okay, that's a part of the branding. I want it personalized. But also I wanted words in it. So that's how I did that. Okay. Any other questions come up? Okay. No or yes?
Okay. So Lori again.
Okay.
So your photos that you do, like with your shipping boxes, when you say, hey, it's shipped, open up your boxes and it's you, a picture of you with some Pampered Chef boxes, and then you've
let me show people that so they know what you're talking about.
Wrote words. And so that's the same. You took a picture and then you downloaded it and then you just added words. I think I'm figuring it out.
Correct. Yeah. It should be in here somewhere.
Yeah, right there. Oh, happy day.
Did I miss it? Where is it?
Well, it was one of them, maybe.
I'm scrolling too fast. Hold on.
I think once we get started and just start playing, it's
Can't believe a new mommy has to put baby pictures.
I know. Oh, there it is. So yes.
Oh.
This actually I created, yeah. very simple. The hashtag is off of Instagram. That's the only different. This is created though, just like I'm showing you. So with the background of this, Lori, so the pink rectangle that you see is me adding that, going into graphic and adding a rectangle. I just reshaped it. Okay, and same thing with this white background. I just added kind of a rectangle square thing and then reshaped it and then put words over it.
Okay. I think once we get in and start playing around a little bit, it'll be easier to figure out.
And you
So do
learn
you-
as you go. Go ahead, Tana, sorry.
So do you save these images and then upload them to Facebook and Instagram?
What do you mean, do I save them? Oh, save them on my, yes.
Computer.
Or on my phone, yeah. Phone or computer, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think you can you have to save it because I don't think you could do that right from here.
Kelly.
Okay, so the next thing I want to show you that's a little more, April, did you have a question?
Yeah, who's taking these photos of you? Is it your husband?
Well, okay, you guys want to see real life right now? So I was with my girlfriends this weekend. Now don't look at, I mean, I'm just going to show you real life of Kelly right now. Hold on. So this is actually my computer, my phone are synced because I have a MacBook. But so these are all random photos. I'll show you how many photos we took this weekend. Hold on. Okay, you ready? They start right here. You see all those?
Yeah.
Have I done anything with these yet? No, I haven't. But these are photos that I can go back. The reason, and you guys are all going to laugh, but it was my birthday weekend. And the reason we took so many photos right here was because the lighting was so perfect. Like we were standing in front of a really, I know that sounds silly, but we were standing in front of a really big window and it was sunny out. This one's really cute. Anyways. So yes, whenever you can, you guys just take photos wherever you're at, okay? Even if it's like, it might feel awkward at first because maybe you're not used to taking a lot of photos of yourself, or maybe you're not used to taking selfies or having your husband or whoever take photos of you. Just start somewhere and start just taking one. If you have your makeup done one day, or if you want to go all natural too, that's totally fine. Like you don't have to be fully put together. So does that help?
Yes, thank you.
Of course. Okay, so this is actually, I remembered why I started paying for this. So I wanted to create, I used to add the Frugal but Pampered Chef by itself, like word for word on every single photo. And I'm like, this is such a waste of time. So what I'm gonna do is I'll show you what I did with my brand. So this is a white background as you see right now, okay? And I'm doing this quickly just because, I don't know. So here's what I would do on every single photo. And I would space it, and then I would click chef or write chef, separate it out, okay? And then I would change that to the font it is. I know the name of it. And then I would add but pampered. Okay, so I was doing this on every single photo, and I'm like, this is definitely, there has to be an easier way around this. And so what I did was I basically created a logo on this thing. I'm gonna kind of do it right here really quickly with you guys. So it's not perfect, but whatever. So the background is white. So what you can do, and is you can create, go over to, I have to find it, hold on. It's in edits. Okay, so I have the words on the screen. It's in edits, and I go to background color, and you can make it transparent, okay? So making it transparent, then what I did is, since the background's all checkery like you see, I can't screenshot it like I was doing when I was not paying for it, when it was free, okay? So the reason that I had to pay for it, which I probably could just end it now because I already have the picture saved, is I had to export it onto my computer. Oops. Okay, so I had to export it, and then this photo is now transparent. Does that make sense?
When you say transparent, that just means that you can copy and paste it?
So let me go back to another photo to show you really quick. Let me go to actual. go back to this one. Okay, so I'm gonna add the image that I just created of my logo. So instead of typing it, the Frugal and Pampered Chef, exactly what I just did, I'm gonna add an image. It's on my computer. It's in Recents. It's right here. So see how it's transparent and there's no white? I can lay it right over my photo.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's why I did the paid version, but I've already had, like I said, I already have my logo saved in white and black, which is pretty much the only colors I'll probably use. I don't know, maybe. So I could probably cancel my subscription, I guess you could say, of this. Okay, let's see if I left anything out.
One question, Kelly. You say you have the app on your phone. I have the app on my phone. I'm not paying. I have the free version, but I haven't put it on my desktop. So if I put it on my desktop, will I be able to link and then all of these photos from the desktop I will be able to see on my phone? So if I needed to do something quickly, I could do that? Or is it you have to? I believe
that's the paid version. So I think there's like these little quirks. So if you see, let me show you really quick. So if I go in the app, you can edit photos on there and whatnot, but I think to see your hub, so this is my hub where all my pictures are edited, you know, you would have to pay. Have you done any photos yet, Lori?
I have on my phone, but not on my desktop.
So try to click on the app and try to go where it says My Hub. Click on that and see if you can see all your photos.
If I go to Hub, it says free trial or login. So
okay, so yeah, I think the Hub is.
So I have to pay for it if I wanted to get it on my phone. Then, I mean,
well, to get the photos, I guess, yes.
Mm-hmm.
So here, okay. I want to show you a few examples of how I did home offices stuff, and then I have another one example that I'll show you too. So this is a great example with the drop shadow. So let me take the drop shadow off really quick, and you can see. So see how the white is kind of hard to read. So this is a perfect example where you need a drop shadow. It just basically bolds the font and makes it see better. And then. And then another thing that I do with Home Office, so Home Office creates a lot of images that you sometimes can't edit. Where did that one go? Not can't edit, but, oh, here it is. So this is a photo of the host specials for this month. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of move this and mess it up and show you what I did, okay? So this is, let me move this here so I don't lose it. It's somewhere around here, hold on. Okay, so see all this stuff that I'm doing? This is exactly from Home Office's marketing imagery. And I don't know that they would like me that I'm doing this, but that's okay. I want to make the image myself or my own, okay? So what I did is I created those, hold on, how can I do this in it? So what I did was I went over here and I took the graphic, okay? So I like I showed you in the beginning, with the graphic, I took a square, okay? And I made that square, this white square right here. And so I did that solely to cover up the double, whatever it is, double free rewards, those words that Home Office put on there, okay? And I did that same thing with this up here. See my little blue rectangle? I did the same thing to cover up this June host special, okay? And what I did was this was white. I'm gonna move it white so you can see, maybe, no? Okay, there you go, make it black. So let's say it started white, but I want to make it the same color as this blue. And that's where you can go in and click the square or rectangle and click the color and do this little Doppler. And I'm going to put my Doppler over this color so that it basically makes that square that same exact color. And then what I did was whatever font I wanted to use. Okay, I just added this right here, Summer Fun Essentials. I added this text, which one would you choose? And then these as well. I believe somewhere around here I covered up something. I can't really remember. Or maybe I just added the text. I think I just added the text. So I added the text A, B, C, or D. So which one would you choose? And I always do some type of this photo to represent the next upcoming host special in a non-salesy way and a personalized way. So that's just an example with home office images that you can kind of tweak and how you can change them. Some of them are hard to change. Like if it's not a solid blue, if it's like, you know, a countertop that has texture to it, obviously I wouldn't be able to do that. Any questions about that?
Kelly,
Yes.
where did you talk about the white room? Where's that at?
The what?
The white room?
Lightroom?
Yeah, you're saying the color scheme and everything will be the same. Is that on
Yeah,
here?
so no, it's not on here. Lightroom is an app. And let me stop my share so I can kind of show you my screen, I guess, on my phone. So it's a blue and black app. You see that? Oh, geez, hold on.
Yeah, I see it.
And this is a little bit extra, you guys. So if it's a whole nother step before I start editing my photos, before I start adding in the words. So I'm going to click on that. And what I did was and I can share these. There's multiple different ones, but this is a preset. And it basically it's a little bit more than just a filter. So it this is the one that I bought. It's bright and airy. Do you see that? And again, it's $5. And I'm not on here telling you, go buy this, go buy that, you know, whatever. But this is just, you can simply use a filter on your phone too, but this is just the one that I bought. So it makes all my photos super white and super bright, okay? So I do that first, and then I take my photo and go into PicMonkey and add the whatever. Any other questions?
I have a question about your brand. So
Yes.
how did you come to like the Frugal but Pampered Chef? Like I've kind of been thinking, like I started at the end of September of last year, and I need to like delve into myself, I guess, and kind of figure out like who I am and what the point is of me doing this. I guess, is that kind of like how it all started for you, or like?
Yeah. And I went over this in the beginning, but I will repeat it. It's totally fine. Basically, my questions that I want you to ask yourself is setting Pampered Chef aside, okay? So this is kind of what I did. So not even thinking about Pampered Chef. What are things that you live by? What are you passionate about? How do you stand out from other people? And then on top of that, what are you knowledgeable about? So knowledgeable, you don't have to be perfect at whatever realm you go, okay? So like none of us have to be a perfect chef to be in Pampered Chef. We all know that, okay? So you don't have to be perfect. It's something that you can start researching. Like I had a few frugal tips just off the top of my head that I do personally in my kitchen, but I've also had to dive in and start researching, okay, so what are some things that not only am I gonna start trying myself to help me and my family, but, like I didn't dive into that being like, oh, I'm so knowledgeable at being frugal. No, I'm not. I'm actually horrible with money, which is why we're in so much debt. But, so like just doing that. And then also, I think that those are basically the questions that you need to ask yourself is like, what do you stand by? What are you passionate about? That's really big. Or what are you living by? So, I'm obviously not always going to be in debt, but that's my life right now. So does that make sense? Does that help?
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions about that? Okay. I think that is all that I really had to cover. I think that just like Lori said is like, I gave you kind of the apps and I gave you the website and whatnot. And I showed you a few things that I pretty much do. there's a lot more on there, you guys. There's so many more features. So click on things and just kind of be playing around. But one thing that I do want to tell you guys and preface is that it can get a little bit of addicting. And so creating images is not an income producing activity. Okay, so in our business, and I'm not here to coach you on business at all, but I just want to tell you, and I catch myself sometimes like, oh, I should be reaching out to people for bookings, or I should be doing this, but I'm over here creating images. Like, just, don't do that because it's not income producing. Yes, it makes pictures look good, and yes, it makes your brand, start happening, but of course, do the income producing activities first. I see there's some chat too. Hold on. Oh, was I breaking up a little bit?
I think it was me. I live in the country, so I think it was me.
Okay. So Emmy, since you're on here still, do you want to share a little bit about your brand and what you're doing? Just to share another example.
Sure. I feel like I have a couple different brands because some are more personal, some are more geared towards food and cooking, but I would say like my why and that part of my brand is the nonprofit my husband and I are raising money to start called Acres of Hope. And so I share that a lot. But through that, like one of my big things is like people sharing their own stories. And so like that I would say is a brand of mine. So even just sharing things in their parties or sharing their stories about struggles they've had in their life, like, and that's just more personal, but I still incorporate that into my parties. And then in my parties, like I don't love to cook. So like some of you might like to cook. I don't like to cook. So my brand when it comes to like cooking and stuff is like quick meals and fast and get out of the kitchen as fast as I can because I don't want to be there. Like I use a hashtag work less, play more. And I use that because I don't want to be in the kitchen. And so yes, I can sell Pampered Chef even though I don't like to cook. And they have tools that make it faster. And so that's my more specific brand, I guess, when it comes to like the food specifically. But yeah, I would say you could even incorporate personal things in your personal life into your brand too, like you are with your frugal and debt free and stuff. So
definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anything else, guys?
Mm-mm.
Alrighty.
It's a whole lot.
I know. And I try to not overwhelm, so I hope I didn't overwhelm anybody.
You did not. You did not. We just have to get in and play and check it out. So thank you so much, though. I got a lot out of it. I appreciate it.
Good. I'm glad. Okay, you guys. Well, let me know too. I will post that podcast that I was talking about Facebook on the event page. And then if you have any other questions, or maybe you like are starting to dive in, you're like, oh, what's this? Or what does this mean? Or it's not working for me or whatever, just message me or reach out on that event page too. We can always go back on it after the event. And then of course, if you guys start diving in and trying the photo editing, like share them with us because we want to encourage each other and celebrate some things that we try new too. So that would be super fun to see some photos that you guys have edited too. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty. I hope you guys have a good night. I'll talk to you guys later.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Kelly. Bye-bye.
You're welcome.